much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, sir. That was a song of mine called In the Real Early Morning, which in fact began its life as a poem, and then later graduated to become a song. Now, you never know when that will happen to you, you know. Sometimes it just happens to your poems, so be aware. So, at this juncture, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Which would you like to hear first? Okay, so the bad news is, there is only one song remaining. This evening, that is the bad news. I told you it was bad, and I stand by that. The good news, however, is that this song is written by George Gershwin. Any George Gershwin fans in the audience, maybe? Super. Before this George Gershwin song, this very mysterious George Gershwin song, I'd like to say a number of thank yous, if that's okay, because today, as I mentioned before, is an exceptionally special gig for me. And there are a wide berth of human beings that I would like to name for you. That's okay. So here goes. First, I may look like one man, right? And I definitely am one person. But when I tour on the road, as I have been doing for the last year and a half, and this is now drawing to a close, in fact. This is one of the last ever one-man shows. I'll have you know. In fact, this is the last one in the entire of the United States of America. Isn't that exciting? There's so much more to come. But this is an unbelievably special chapter for me in my life, and I'd just like to quickly name the people in my team who make all of this possible. Because everybody, thank you. Yeah, almost every single person who's worked on this show is actually here today, bar the Spaniard. But I'll get to him later. One quick note is that because I'm going to mention so many people, maybe just save your applause for the end, or like mostly, you know. Okay, so first, you may have seen him scuttling around on the stage every now and then. This is one of my most favourite human beings in the whole entire world. He's from Italy, and therefore he is Italian. He actually sets up every single thing you see before your very eyes. And there are a number of cables where, you know, if I just snap that one cable, it's like game over. So it's so important to have somebody who does their job with this particular kind of thing. It's not actually necessary to have somebody who is unbelievably kind and giving and makes us all laugh. That is a bonus. So I'm very, very lucky to have this person with me. I'll say his name later. The second person is the person responsible for everything you've seen on this video screen, which is an exceptionally important video screen and actually rather unique, I'll have you know. These two cameras here are actually meant for Xbox. Any Xbox fans? Nice. So these cameras actually see my skeleton, believe it or not. And so when I move around on the stage and do things like loop, every time I duplicate myself, as in play piano, bass, then I copy on the screen, as you see, and it's all done live. It's really an amazing feat. And this technology has kind of been built from the ground up. And it's really amazing to have it on the road because it kind of brings this whole new dimension to you. So this person is extremely important. I'll say his name later. He's from London. Yes. The third person is the person who I'm sure many of you know by name. He's the person with whom I sat in a room at MIT in Boston a couple of years ago, and we built the one-man show together. And we actually also built this instrument, which is called a harmonizer. The way it works is that every note that I sing is sampled in real time. So, like, if I sing an E, I can put a myriad of rainbow E notes surrounding it. It's lovely. There's only one of these in the whole entire world, and it's there. And this guy built it from scratch, which is a really cool thing to have done. Just to kind of sum up those group of people, so you can finally give them a round of applause. The first, the Italian, is Claudio Somigli. The second, Will Young from London. And the third, Mr. Ben Bloomberg from Boston. Thank you so much. I'll also just briefly mention this Spaniard. The person who's been at the most number of gigs I've ever done on my team is called Jose Ortega. And unfortunately, his grandmother actually passed away a few days ago, so he's unable to be with us. But I'd love you to bring his spirit into the room with an enormous round of applause if you would. Thank you. Jose. Thank you, guys. So there are a few more people I'd like to thank. So in the room are so many people who are very important to me. My management team, who are actually some of my best friends in the whole world, they're all here, which is really nice. It's actually very rare as well. And I think the reason why they're all here is actually a certain Mr. Quincy Jones. Now, Quincy Jones is in fact in the room, which is pretty exciting. Just to sort of very briefly say a couple of words about Quincy Jones, even though that's quite a difficult thing to do. Quincy, you have been in my life about 3 years, in a very unprecedented fashion. It's just been the most glorious treat, and enormous inspiration for me to get to know you, not just as a musician. And Quincy, you've inspired every single person in this room with your music, but thank you guys. But your humanity, personally, is what brings you above everybody else that I've met. And it blows me away every single time. I see you interact with other people, I see you interact with loved ones and others, and it's extraordinary how equal you see everybody. And really, I think everyone in this room would gladly join me in an enormous round of applause celebrating the inimitable legacy of the one and only Quincy Jones. Thank you very much. That was nice. So the people who work for Quincy and therefore are a part of my life, I'm lucky enough to say, I mean, there are quite a few of you to mention, but just briefly to call you out, Adam, and Michael, Natalie, Mariana, Alyssa, and Thomas. I don't know if Thomas is actually in the room, but if he is, then Thomas. Notwithstanding the two very new interns, Max and Michael. It's so fantastic to have you all in one place. You guys can't imagine how special these people are to me, and to have them assembled with you guys is unbelievably special. So thank you so much to all of you guys for everything you do on such a regular basis to bring a smile to my face and enable some of my more extraneous adventures. It's really lovely to have you in my life. Now, beside Quincy up there are a number of exciting human beings. Just very quickly to call them out. I mean, there are many to mention. One is Mr. Hans Zimmer. Now, thank you, guys. Isn't this exciting? So actually, Hans Zimmer and I scored a film together earlier this year, and I say that with, sort of lightly because Hans did the majority of the work. And actually, Steve, I believe Steve is also here, which is fantastic. Steve and Hans worked together very closely, and Hans was gracious enough to allow me to sprinkle some sort of lovelinesses on top of the film score of a film called Boss Baby, which is really cool. And just to have Hans here, it's an enormous honour for many of us and a real treat. So Hans, you are absolutely the man. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I won't be long here, I promise. Any Ty Dolla $ign fans in the house? So you may know Ty Dolla $ign as a badass, and I know him as a beast. He's extraordinary, and we've made a little bit of music together earlier this year. He's in the room, which is just so exciting that you guessed. And so Ty, you're absolutely the man. I can't wait for more adventures with you. It's so cool to have you here. So thank you so much to Ty. Thank you. Has anybody ever heard of one of the most glorious choral composers ever written, who has ever lived, who has written some of my most favourite choral music in the whole world, and voice is very important to me. This guy actually kind of changed my life, and to have him here in the room is, again, absolutely astonishing, kind of true honour, and we've become friends quite recently, so to have him here, as I say, is truly wonderful. His name is Eric Whittaker. Thank you guys. Eric, thank you so much for being here. It's super to see you, and looking forward to making some music very soon. Hopefully, one more person. Now, I wager there might be one or two fans of one Miss Tori Kelly. Tori is here, which is just such a thrill for me, because I've been such a fan of Tori for such a very long time. She's sitting up there, which is so cool. We actually wrote a song together, sort of early this year, which tomorrow we're going to finish off. I think that's the plan, Tori. But anyway, I would like to call out Tori's name, because I know that she's very well represented in a room like this, and she's such a badass, right? I'm sure we can all agree. So thank you so much for Tori for coming. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Not long now. Three very wonderful parent figures I'd like to mention. The first is the mother of the aforementioned Adam Fell. Now, Adam's mama, who is Lylon, is that right? Lylon, I think it's Lylon. Now, it's Lylon's birthday today, which is such an immense treat, and the fact that she's here with a lot of her friends means actually very much to me indeed. And I think we can all very much say, especially those who work with Quincy, with this team, that you mean so much to us. And the fact that you're here with all of your friends for your birthday brings a smile to our face. So happy birthday to you, Layla. Thank you so much. The second of three parent figures. The mother and the father of one Michael Paher, who I believe might be quite well represented here tonight. These are the guys, when I stay in Los Angeles for my various antics, these are the guys that put up with me. Can you imagine putting up with me? And they actually set a room of musical instruments up in the basement, and I sort of do things with the instruments. It's just so unprecedented and delightful to have a space. I mean, as I mentioned before, a space is very important, but these guys are very lovely and have given up their space multiple times for me to sort of come and chill out and create things. So thank you so much. Thank you to Julie, and thank you to Larry Payer. Thank you very much. One more person, and this is really rare. This is really rare. And I guess in the last year and a half, there's about 150 shows all over the world. But I can probably count the number of shows this person has attended on the fingers of one hand, which is slightly sad in some ways. But the fact that she's here tonight means an immense amount to me, and that, of course, is my own mother, Susie. If you guys are very well behaved for the rest of the evening, then there is a very minute chance that you might be in for a bit of a treat involving Susie Collier. So just stay on best behaviour, won't you? The final person, or in fact people, I would like to say thank you to, is actually every single person here in the room who have come to see me today. It's just so lovely to meet you, and it does consistently surprise me and blow me away that I can sit in a room in North London, and make all these songs with all these notes in them, and then I arrive in Los Angeles and people come and listen. It's just stupendous, and I would never have dreamed of standing here in front of a room with this number of enthusiastic and lovely people so early on, and it's just one of those extraordinary things. So thank you very much indeed, every single one of you, for coming along. It's lovely to see you, and see you again soon.